ASSN.
Welcome to ASSN, the Adult Sports Situation Network. I'm your host, 12, putting my best foot forward. And the Cubs finally win a game against the Milwaukee Brewers. They dropped 2 out of 3. We don't know which way this is going to turn. And right now, I'm joined with my co-host, Mike Seibel. How you doing, Stats?
You know, any better, and I couldn't stand myself today. But
Really? With the Cubs dropping 2 out of 3?
you know, I think we're gonna fix it. But we got 5 things we got to fix. We're Cub fans. We got to see the Cubs fix it. 5 important areas before we go into the August dog days of summer, September. You know, the final race. And if we fix those 5 things, we're gonna be in the playoffs. We're gonna go in hot. We're gonna get there. Some of it can be fixed by the trade deadline. Some of it, I think we just have to, and see the Cubs buckle up and get to the playoffs.
Yeah, the crazy thing is right now, it looks like the Cubs pitching is in the middle of the pack. I believe they have it's like a 3.94 ERA or something like that. Okay, I'm looking it up right now. They're ranked about 15th, middle of the pack, but the hitting, the offensive, the offensive aspect of this team has been very explosive at times, and I believe they're leading pretty much the league with as far as runs per game. They have a 5.86 runs per game right now, and it looks like they have a lot of the pieces in place, but they're not all clicking at the same time between pitching and the offense. And it looks like that's the dilemma.
I think we hit a little slump in all areas here. I think, we don't see it show up as we have the second best or third best record in baseball at this time. But, if we look at the hitting over the last couple of weeks, nobody's hitting except for Matt Shaw, who we're going to trade for, a replacement for in third base. He is lighting it up. He's hitting over 400 in the last couple of weeks, whole bunch of doubles, 4 home runs. He is Mr. Clutch. He's been out there for us. Nico Horner, he's hitting, but PCA, he's not popping the bat anymore. He's not hitting anything. He's only hit 1 since the break. Kyle Tucker, where'd Kyle Tucker go? He's just non-existent.
Yeah, Kyle Tucker.
208 since June 29th. He's got a 208 batting average.
Yeah, ridiculous.
That's just horrid.
Yeah, when he first came onto the scene for the Cubs, he was explosive. He was getting clutch hits, knocking the ball out the park. But ever since then, I don't know. They're talking about $650 million contract. I don't see that with what I'm seeing on the field right now. Not that. You think the Cubs would be wise to let this thing play out?
I think he's going to turn it around. I think he's going to step up his game when the clock turns to August or so. I think Tuck's professional and he's going to do a good job. But at the same time, the other day I was watching the game and Seiya wasn't hitting, Tuck wasn't hitting. Hap wasn't hitting. And you know what? If we get somebody in scoring position, Swanson is not hitting at all. A 1.41 average with runners in scoring position for the season. That is miserable for somebody we're paying $27 million a year for. He is the Mr. Anti-Clutch. And I know, we've had these conversations all season long, but the viewers haven't. Every time I see somebody on base, I know that Swanson's going to strike out because he can't get anybody in. So, that needs to be fixed. And on the opposite side,
do you think with the juggling of the batting order that's it possibly paid off in the beginning, but right now it looks like it's hitting it's ceiling?
Well, I think Counsell is tinkering with the batting order kind of in the last couple of weeks. He moved Bush up to the leadoff spot, which is kind of interesting considering his OPS. One of the best in all of baseball. You look at Hap dropping down to the 5th or 6th spot. That's he's not driving any runs back there. Along with Swanson, he's not driving in any. Shaw and Kelly they're doing a wonderful job, and even Reese McGuire. That's been our offense. Has been those 3 for the last couple of games.
Yes.
And then you look at it. You also have a bullpen that's melting down. Chris Flexen, he had a 0 ERA a month ago. The last 14 innings, 7.9 ERA. They DFA him today. You look at Pomerantz, he gave up a run today. Look at Presley. He gave up 4 runs today. It used to be the 3 Ps, Presley, Pomerantz, and Palencia. Now all we can rely on is Palencia. So, I mean, our bullpen is a little bit weak. We're going to have to trade for something there. They look a little tired. They look a little beat up. Our starting pitching, it needs to fix. We need to fix Swanson. We need to fix Tucker. And one of the other things is, and you can address this more than I can, we need Council to embrace small ball.
100%. And as you already know, that's something I complain about all the time because, essentially every time. See, the thing is, the Cubs, scoring almost 6 runs per game, which is a historic pace. I don't know if they can keep it up for the remainder of the games. But the thing is, I think he gets lulled into thinking that that's going to be the norm. But sometimes the situations don't play out like that. Sometimes you have to recognize when it's a small ball game, whether it's bunting just to get somebody over, to get them in a scoring position, or taking that chance, or doing the steals, doing the small things that are necessary. And I've only seen Council do that once for sure, maybe 2 times. But all in all, that might have cost us like 3 or 4 games, maybe even 5 games so far this year, not being able to adapt to what the current situation is on the field. And small ball, to me, is a reason why teams become championship teams, because only so often can you knock as many home runs as the Cubs do sometimes in a game, and that's sporadic. It's more of the case this year, where they're scoring more per game as they did last year. Last year was more like glimpses of what this year is right now. But the thing is like, you can't rely on that. And sometimes you get the great pitching, then you don't have any offense. Then some nights you don't have any offense, then you get great batting. So the thing is like, when it comes down to times where it's going to be a 1-run game, a 2-run game, or whatever the case might be, and you have to gamble and you have to put your people in the right position to win the game. And I think Craig has failed miserably when it comes to playing small ball. And that's been my biggest pet peeve, if I may say so myself. But right now, go ahead.
And I think you're right, especially with the amount of speed we have on this team. I mean, the Cubs are underestimated in their amount of speed. I mean, you look at PCA, he has 29 steals. But then you look at Tucker. I mean, I think he has 22 steals. You look at Shaw, he has 14 steals. He's barely been up this year. You look at Swanson, he has 15 steals. Horner's got speed. Happ's got speed. The only people who don't have speed are Carson Kelly. I mean, he doesn't have any speed.
He's been knocking it out the park.
But he's a catcher. Everybody else on this team can steal a base at any particular time. Even Justin Turner had one the other day. And I think that's underutilized by Council overall. I think he needs to utilize the speed, as well as teach some people how to bunt every once in a while. I mean, lay down a bunt. Bad things happen sometimes when bunts go down. They overthrow the ball at first. And, especially if you get somebody like PCA, who if you don't get there quick, is going to be on first base. So, I mean, teach them how to lay down a bunt, teach them how to move the runner over. I haven't seen a lot of that this season, that good fundamental baseball that I've seen in the past. I mean, I didn't see it under Rossi either, but I mean, it's particularly an eyesore on this Cubs team that they can't play that small ball.
Yeah, and right now, if we could have those games back and Craig actually took advantage of the situations, we'd be looking at a different season. But nonetheless, that's behind us. And moving forward, I hope he's able to adapt, because right now we're running into crunch time. We're running into the postseason here.
The next 48 hours are going to be incredible. I mean, where are we going to go? Are we going to get Gino Suarez? I mean, if we get him, although he got hit on the hand the other day, and there's some concern that he's not as good as he once was. He's a little damaged. But are we going to get Gino at third base? I mean, that's going to make a dangerous lineup one way or the other. Are we going to go out and get a Mackenzie Gore who could, are we going to mortgage our future for Mackenzie Gore or somebody like that? Are we going to get a Charlie Morton? Are we going to get, a Cabrera from Florida? Please don't let us get Sandy Alcantara. I mean, we don't need a pitcher with 6 ERA, no matter what it is in this situation. not for the last 2 months of the season. If we had a whole season to work on it, maybe. But for the last 2 months of the season, we don't need a 6 ERA pitcher. Could we get Zach Gallen? Could we go out and it looks like Seth Lugo is off the market right now, so it looks like Kansas City City's going to try and compete. You can't get a closer because we're trying to get Cleveland's closer, and now he's on leave for sports betting investigation. So I mean, you got a lot of weird things happening here at the end with Gino getting hit on the hand and Glass getting the sports betting investigation. I mean, I think it's going to be an interesting trade deadline to see where they go. And do you trade Casey? I mean, Casey is on a tear. He's got 20 home runs in the minors. He's always been good. He's got some good speed, a great arm. He's really a 4.5 tool player with his speed. He can hit, he can throw, he can run. He's got good baseball instincts. He's another kind of PCA-ish, Tucker-ish type player. I would love to keep him. Although if we could win the World Series, I guess we give him up. And then you've got Jackson Wiggins down there. That is probably one of the best pitchers that I've seen since Cade Horton. Cade, you can't give up Cade. Look what Cade's doing, man. This young kid coming in 12 scoreless innings in the last 2 games. During crunch time, that guy's got ice water in his veins. He's getting better every day. In 3 to 4 years, I think Cade's going to be pushing Skeens and the Brewers' young pitcher for the Cy Young in those couple of years. He's a really good pitcher with that good slider, and Wiggins has got a great curveball. It's just going to be, those two could be a 1-2 punch like, Pryor and Wood or Glavine and Maddox for years to come if we have them on our team.
Well, the thing I think about that is I'm kind of leaning towards Jed not doing that simply because he did get his contract extension. And now he doesn't have to actually try to mortgage our future or try to make a play right now, which could jeopardize or help his job. So he can pretty much sit back in his chair and actually make a long-term decision without having to worry about his job now at this point. And the team is well constructed. It is a couple pieces away from being phenomenal, although we have been on the cusp of phenomenal a couple times. Then these type of situations unfold. So hopefully he does not try to give up those two. And if we give up those two, we need a lot in return, because I just don't see, like, in my personal opinion, I'm not speaking for anybody else with this, but I know it's all about winning the World Series. But for me as well, it's about how many years can you respectively compete in the postseason and not just be a splash, like a splash in the pan sort of thing. But if I feel like if we do give up one of our, phenomenal young talents, we should get something more back in return than a rental. I don't want somebody for 2 years. 2 months. And we don't have anything after that. Then we're left scrambling, trying to figure this thing out, man. We got to go back into, the payroll and everything else. And I just think that it's bad to play like that through free agency when you have talent that could actually thrive in the MLB.
Well, I can see giving up a lot for Mackenzie Gore. I don't think we give up Jackson Wiggins for Mackenzie Gore. I think, but Mackenzie Gore could be a great addition into this lineup. But Chris Sale, even though he's on the DL, God, if you could get him, that wouldn't be too bad either. But it sounds like the Braves aren't going to part with him. So, you've got great teams out there. You got a great future. We also have some other great players that we can give up. You start talking about Pedro Ramirez, who's an incredible third base, second base prospect that, could probably fill the role of a Nico Horner somewhere down the line, or Jefferson Rojas, who somehow, at Double-A and developed a 11 home run power for a middle utility infielder with a high batting average. He's a good prospect. He's our third best prospect now in the system. Christian Hernandez, who's hitting home runs. He's a little older, but a great shortstop with great power that we could trade off. Jonathan Long, who just hit a home run tonight for Iowa. He's never going to replace Bush, so you might as well, he's blocked. You might as well give him a home that's someplace out there. If I'm the Diamondbacks, who just traded off Naylor, their first baseman, I look at Jonathan Long and say, this kid's hitting .337 with 13 home runs at Iowa. I'm going to take that chance. I'll give up Suarez for him and maybe a cheesy relief pitcher, but something along those lines. I mean, especially for a rental, I don't think you get any better than that. You could fill out your first base for Arizona for some time in the future. So, I mean, there's some benefits there. I mean, Washington, they could rebuild their entire program with an Alcantara. Just imagine Mackenzie Gore for Alcantara and Moises Ballesteros. You got a high-hitting catcher in the Jaguar, for your pitcher. And that could form a basis if maybe they throw in another young prospect for the Cubs of the next rise in the Washington Nationals.
Yeah, it's kind of a hard game to play as a GM or as a president of the team, trying to gauge what to do next, because you don't want to keep ending up on the wrong end of the stick. Like Cam Smith, I kind of feel like we're going to probably be on the wrong end of the stick with that within the next year or two.
Well, I'll tell you this: if Kyle Tucker doesn't turn it around by the end of the season, we're on the wrong end.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Paredes got hurt, and he's pretty much done for the season right now out in Houston. So Cam Smith is the only thing left. I mean, Wisniewski got hurt, and he had his, TJS, Tommy John surgery. So the deal isn't looking too good for those things, although Paredes hit 19 home runs, which is the same amount of Tucker is.
I was about to say, yeah.
But you got Cam Smith, who's, I think, got 10 or 11 home runs. That guy's got nowhere to go but up. I mean, they fleeced us. If Tucker doesn't hit 30 home runs and get 30 steals, we lost on that deal.
Yeah, and then it's going to cost the Cubs dearly too, because we're heading to the off season here pretty soon, and we don't even know what the situation is looking like outside the fact that he bought a house in Chicago.
Yeah. I don't know if he'll re-sign or not. I'll tell you this, though: if he doesn't turn it around, he ain't getting any $400 million.
Yeah.
Especially not $600 million.
Yeah, I was going to say, let alone $6.
I was in San Francisco. I got to watch Juan Soto this weekend. Although he hit a huge home run, I mean, to win the game out there for the Mets against the Giants, he looked awful. I mean, I thought, wow, $700 million for that?
Yeah, and they were talking recently about trading him for PCA. They want a PCA back. I said, that's a no-can-do, buddy. That's a no-can-do.
No-can-do. I'll take PCA over Juan Soto. I mean, I may have not said that at the beginning of the year, but I've always been high on PCA. The Washington Nationals want Mackenzie Gore for Matt Shaw. And, God, if you're watching Shaw right now, we saw this with PCA last year. Before the break, PCA maybe a 190 average, no home runs. I mean, 1 or 2 home runs. He ends up the season having 10 home runs, batting 300 from the All-Star break to the end of the season, and then just explodes into this year. Don't you think the same thing's going to happen with Shaw once he gets
100%.
Adjusted to this whole thing?
100%.
So I don't know if you would give up Shaw. I mean, you have a great infield out there. I mean, obviously you'd have to re-sign Nico Horner for another 3-year contract at the end of next year. But, I mean, I think you have a great makings of an infield there that is one of the best defensive infields and one of the better offensive ones, too. I mean, all in different ways. Nico hit a home run tonight. He hit his 4th home run tonight. He seems to do that a lot in the losses, but and Shaw did really well. He had a double tonight, and Bush is solid. I mean, one of the best OPSs in all of baseball. And then you have Dansby Swanson, who, his runners in scoring position is miserable, but on the opposite side, his defense probably robs a run or two every couple of games from the other side.
Yeah, and I was going to say the same thing for Shaw. I mean, since he got called back up, he's been doing really well. Since the All-Star break, like you mentioned earlier, he's been on fire, has 4 home runs since then. And then on top of that, defensively, I mean, he's a lot better than what we had earlier, which actually probably cost us a couple games.
And even if you trade for Suarez, I mean, you still have Shaw off the bench for the late innings in this situation, who has a lot of pop in his bat, but has good defense also in a close game. I can see that being a benefit. You could probably even give Seiya a couple of rest days at DH and move him over to left and let Happ get out of that lineup for a little bit. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we can do. do here. We obviously got to keep the old man, Justin Turner. He just brings so much to that clubhouse. And that's the other thing is, how is the Sandberg death really affecting that clubhouse? I know Sandberg was at every spring training. He was close with the team. I mean, PCA looked up to Sandberg. PCA is the new Sandberg. He has taken on that role, sparking this team. But he looked up to him. I mean, you know, I saw an interview with Hap, who was just devastated the other day. Hap is one of our emotional leaders on that team. You know, the Sandberg death is a little bit stronger than people would think.
Yeah, it even affected Kyle, Schwarber quite a bit. He spoke on that as well, you know. Yeah, and our condolences here on our channel to the Sandberg family for the years of greatness, entertainment, smiles, laughs, the ups and the downs. We are with you, and we pray for nothing but the best. Sandberg was and is a legend.
He is a legend. He is probably the best all-time second baseman of all time. I mean, his errorless streak was just incredible. You know, he also hit 40 home runs. Total package in Sandberg. I mean, he's one of the few second basemen that ever have 40. Well, up until this past year, I think he was one of the few infielders or just people to have a 40 home run season and a 50 stolen base season. And, wow. You know, until Ronald Acuna Jr. did it in 2023, all in one season. So I think it was just, it's amazing to see his impact on the game. And, you know, people like me, I mean, I grew up watching Brian. He was my hero. Yeah. And, you know, I'm going to be happy to be out there Friday afternoon in Wrigley Field I'm sure they're going to pay tribute to Ryan on the first home game back. I mean, you know, he's just, I don't know if I'll be able to hold back the tears myself. Yeah. Just, you know, it's how many days, months, years I've probably spent watching him play.
Yeah, it's going to be incredible. And guys, he just broke the news to you. ASSN is on the road. We are on our way to Wrigley Field in Chicago. We'll be doing shows from there, doing some live stuff. It's going to be amazing. We are back with the Grand Slam report, and we're going to be happy to be able to have our shows, you know, at Wrigley and get a close-up on this team, especially after the trade deadline. We should have some new toys out there. I just hope we don't give up too much, but we should have something going on. So out of the top 5 things that you think the Cubs need to do at the trade deadline, what do you think is going to happen? And what do the Cubs need to do at this point, in your opinion, to try to clamp down first place and take that away from the Brewers?
We need some bench help. I mean, I love John Birdie. I love Vidal Brujan, but they're not really that big a help. You know, so if we get Suarez, I don't know if we're gonna pony up what the Diamondbacks are asking for. I mean, the Yankees are out because they got Ryan McMahon from Colorado, so it'll be interesting. I think there's about a 40% chance that Suarez goes to the Cubs. Which, I mean, if he doesn't go to another National League team, that's also a win because he is the biggest Cub killer of all time. I think he's got 36 home runs against the Cubs. I mean, he's up there with Albert Pujols with the number of home runs he has hit against the Cubs. I mean, he is an absolute Cub killer. So if he doesn't go to the Cubs, let's hope he goes to at least the American League, and we don't see him until the World Series. The second thing is we need a starting pitcher. I mean, God bless, you know, Ben Brown, who put up a great start this weekend against the White Sox. Our best pitcher over the last 3 weeks has been Cade Horton, and he's a 23-year-old kid. You can't lean on him to be your ace down the stretch. He's just still too young. I mean, he's not even a full year in. So you need a starting pitcher. I don't know if you do it in the form of a rental. I mean, I would love Mackenzie Gore. That would be my dream. Mackenzie Gore without trading Casey or Wiggins, and I'm on seventh heaven. I don't know if they can get that done. I mean, I'd probably give up 5 prospects for Mackenzie Gore. He's that good. If not, a Cabrera without giving up, Casey Wiggins. Those would be 2 of the better ones. Raul and Iglesias would be another one I would think about. Even Zach Allen's a rental, but anybody with control that is up there. But Mackenzie Gore was an all-star this season. If we could get him in the next 48 hours, I think we're on the inside track to winning the division at that point.
Wow. Yeah, well, we'll see what happens here, because the Cubs have been kind of off and on as of late, and we're going to get a close-up look at them coming up this weekend for that 3-game set, the series that's coming up. So I'm pretty excited about that.
The other need, I think, is given the failure of Pomerantz over the last couple of outings in Presley, I think we need at least an 8 setup man for Palencia. Whether that be a closer and Palencia sets up, which that would be an awesome 1-2 punch, but we need another late inning reliever that we can count on. I think they made that signal today. They DFA'd Flexen, who's been there all day. They brought up Hollowell, who has a lot of options left. They freed up a 40-man roster spot, so that's huge. And that's the other thing we have to think about is who are they going to free up on the 40-man roster? We got Miguel Amaya coming back.
Yeah.
And, he caught 5 innings today in Iowa. I hate to see Reese McGuire go. I actually like that guy. He's doing incredible. Yeah. I'd like to find a place for him. I don't know if we can, because we got 3 great catchers. Yeah. I think you said something about, we have one of the best platoons in all of baseball.
Yeah, I believe that to be true. So let me ask you this question. And this question is looking at the upside of things. People, if you want to save money, here at ASSN, we're here to help you save money. All you have to do is sign up using our code and our link that you see below for upside. Save money on your gas, restaurants, and even shopping. So here's the upside, Mike. What with the remainder of the schedule that we have right now, how do you see the Cubs coming out? Do you see an upside after these trades for us to possibly take this thing and take the rightful position of being number 1 in the Central and possibly the number 1 seed going into the playoffs?
I think there's an upside. I think the Cubs need a spark right now. I think Suarez gives them a spark like that. I think there could be some super bench players that could give a spark like that. I even think Owen Casey coming up could actually give them a little bit of a spark if necessary. I think there's some out-of-the-box moves that you can have. You get another starting pitcher that can match up with the Brewers. We got 5 with them left. We win tomorrow, and then just go into this. We have one of the easiest schedules left. I think we have the Brewers. If we win 4 out of those 5, we'll be right back in this thing. We have the Mets late in the season. The Mets will probably have clinched by that time, or we will have, one of those 2 things. We have Tampa Bay left. And I think we have a Giants team, and I saw that Giants team. They are not the Giants team of earlier in the year. I don't know what Rafael Devers has done to that team, but ever since he's gotten on that team, I've watched them fail like there's no tomorrow. And then the only other tough team I think we have left is Toronto for 3 games. Yeah. And, Milwaukee's got a little bit tougher schedule than we do. It doesn't seem like it, but they actually do. So I think, it comes down to the end between the 2 of them. But I think the Cubs walk away with this if we can get Tuck back on track, get a little bit of spark, and get Seiya back hitting. I think we're right back in the thick of this, and if not, pulling away from the Brewers.
Now, from the Brewer side of things, because we're going to have some Brewer fans watching this as well, how surprised are you by this year? Because they have to be the hottest team in baseball. And it almost seems like it came out of nowhere. And considering the fact that Craig left, and they're still this good.
Well, I was thinking about this morning, and, they have an unfair advantage. And you don't think about this being a small market team with no payroll in this situation, but they get extra draft picks because they're a, quote, small market team. Well, I mean, they still have some good money up there in Milwaukee, and they're winning championships. And they keep reloading with these extra comp benefit, draft picks right after the first and second round with more bonus pool money. So they're getting a lot more young talent than we're getting in this situation. And I think that's a little unfair at this point. I think MLB has to take a look at this competitive balance draft pick that is out there, because this guy, I can never pronounce his name, Jacob Wisniewski, who pitched against the Cubs the first game of this set. I mean, he was a comp A pick and a competitive balance pick. And I just think that's, they get 2 first-round picks. I mean, come on. You're going to reload every single solitary time.
Yeah, that's true, too.
So, I mean, I was thinking about it. How are they doing this? Yeah, they're getting a lot better picks than we are every year. I mean, you're getting an extra pick between that first and second round.
Wow, that's insane. Well, we're going to have a lot more for you guys when it comes to the MLB, the Cubs, the Central race, also what's going on in the American League out west and east. We're going to have it all covered right here. This is my co-host, Mike Stats Seibel. Thank you so very much for being on our show, as always. And I can't wait for you guys to see the next show, because we actually are going to be on site and taking in everything live. And I think it's going to be an amazing thing. And like Mike was saying earlier, they're probably going to do a lot for Sandberg, and we're going to be there to catch it all. Right, Mike?
We're going to be there to catch it all. We're going to be out. I got to get you out in the bleachers. I mean, the bleachers are going to be rocking no matter what this weekend. I mean, after the trade deadline, we're a couple games out. Going into the dog days of summer. Hopefully the wind's blowing out for the next 60 days, and we're just going to see the homers flying out.
Awesome. Hey, guys, we really appreciate you. Make sure you do like, share, and subscribe, and thank you for getting your ass in. Adult Sports Situation Network. For me and Mike, we'll see you guys later.
We have everything you're looking for. We are your complete couture sports store. We have sweaters, we have hoodies, we have sweatpants, mugs, face masks, pillows, leggings, backpacks, blankets, yoga mats, beach towels, and more. We're not your average merch store. With top-end designs, you'll definitely stand out from the crowd. So get your merch now at ASSNsports.com and be on the lookout for our digital calendars coming soon. So get your ass in gear.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?